Rossi, you're all right. You wear my ring when you hold me tight. Rossi, that's my thing. All is in order.
Oh!
Stay with me a bit longer, Lady Daphne.
You, Jacob?
Heel, Mohort. Down. Who asks?
A Witcher. Saw your notice.
Hold up. A Witcher, you say? Like in Luis Herrera's Tales and Fables. Luckier than a green bleeding leprechaun I am. See, not a soul around believes this tree is Daphne, the cursed lady of legend. But you could lift the curse.
Bit too old to believe in bedtime stories, aren't you?
Want your chops busted, Wicha? How old I am, that is none of your poking concern.
Fair point. Not my business what you believe, either.
Ha! I'm content we see eye to eye.
So what makes you think there's a girl cursed inside the tree?
Well, I came out with my dog, Moholt, to cut her down. Axe in hand, a broad swing I took. The edge burrowed deep in her trunk, and bum-botch me if blood didn't spurt forth. My jaw dropped in the dirt. But right then I knew. Every jot of it in the tale of Daphne, Gareth, and the Witch of Lynxcrag.
Don't tell me. From Herrera's Tales and Fables.
You talking that? Second edition. I meant it in octavo. I know those tales by heart. My nan read them to put me to sleep.
Guess she read it cover to cover, colophon included. Got me curious, gotta admit. You really think the old tales are true?
Taking the weepy, are you? Do you think me balmy?
No, it's just these are dark, grim times. No room for knights pure of heart or happily ever afters. So I don't often run into folk like you.
Yes, true, the times are crud pie. But I see this as all the more reason to remember the tales. My gran would say, if you know not what to do, think to the chessboard knight and noble Alondra, and the path they would choose. She schooled me so thorough in it, I could not do otherwise even if I wished to.
Let me take a look at the tree.
Careful now.
Swear I hear sobs in the rustling leaves. Actually does bleed. Looks like human blood too. And the bark. Resembles hypertrophic scars in places. Medallions humming like crazy. Intense magic at work here. Blood. Seeped from the direction of the tree, judging by the shape of the stain. Logger was making good time. Strange, though. Willow's isolated. No other trees near it.
And? Did you look at the tree close?
Mm-hmm. Actually does bleed. Pretty incredible. Looks wondrous.
Did I not say so?
My help doesn't come free, you know.
You speak to a lowly woodcutter. No stench of coin about me. Agreed. I will pay as soon as the young mate is free.
Willing to help, but first I gotta figure out where to start.
No need. I know it all. Miss Daphne and Sir Gareth shared a terrible and fearsome love for each other. Yet to prove himself worthy of her hint, Gareth was to face the Witch of Lynx Crag. Before Sir Gareth set off for the hill, Miss Daphne gave him her kerchief, a token of her favor.
Let me guess, he never returned.
He did not. She stood here, day upon day, night upon night, trying to spy him.
Till she sprouted roots and turned into a tree? Wonder why.
I will fecking tell you why. To await the moment when Gareth returns, kerchief in hand. That is the power of love. The power of longing. So you must scale Lynx Crag. Search there for a means to free Daphne. I will give you my book of tales to refer to. And good luck, Wicha.
During his stay in Chesang, Geralt became involved with a curious case of gynodendromorphy. That is to say, a woman who had been turned into a tree. When one cut into the tree's bark, it bled, and when the wind blew through its leaves, one could hear the muffled sobs. Geralt investigated the matter and learned magic, or possibly a curse, was responsible for transformation. And it surely had something to do with a certain sad episode from the woman's past. The love of Daphne's life, knight-errant, had gone to the Witch of Lynx Crag and never returned, leaving her to wait for him forever, filled with sadness and longing. Spectral.
That's it, Roach.
Feast till the wine barrels run dry.
Come on.
not attacking. Doesn't mean it's not a threat, though. Witches. Hut looks inhabited. No sign of the dweller, though. Guess I'll look around. Warm. Smells inconclusive. No idea what ingredients are in there.
Sir Gareth and Miss Daphne loved each other so much it hurt. To win the approval of his his future father-in-law, Gareth had to perform 7 challenges. The 7th was the hardest. Gareth had to go to Lynx Crag, find a witch who lives there, and convince her to lift the drought that plagued the whole land. Everyone, including Daphne, pleaded with Gareth to humble himself before the witch. You see, the witch from Lynx Crag was spiteful and headstrong, even for a witch, and only an act of true humility could break her icy heart. Gareth, however, had no intention of bending his knee before a witch. Instead, he planned to force her to lift the curse. Nobody knows what happened to Lynx Crag, but Gareth never returned to his beloved. Daphne stood on top of a hill and looked for him day and night. Finally, she turned into a tree so that she may live to see the return of her knight. Such was the strength of her longing and the power of her love. Anyone who plunged his axe blade into the tree would see blood run from the wound. Folks started to avoid that place, leaving Daphne in peace to wait for Gareth in time. All had forgotten about him.
Library of Honest. Conclave of Mages banned this tome.
I then came to a place known as the Poneth Valley, the world known as the Shagai. The mind of a man cannot comprehend this land, where non-geometric space and blasphemous colors fly in the face of everything our eyes are accustomed to. In that instant, the moment of my arrival, I teetered on the verge of madness. I shouted a noiseless cry and sweat, bloody sweat, when 2 sounds rose above my head. I fell to my knees and prayed to Shotakwa for salvation, not for salvation, but for a quick death. And then they came.
to dust. Notes on the use of yarrow stems. Interesting.
Yarrow is first and foremost used for medicinal purposes. As mentioned above, when the leaves of this herb are placed against the flesh, they heal all kinds of trauma, wounds and sores. Brew it, the resulting tincture treats the common cold, colic, and loss of appetite. Yet, in addition to their healing properties, the branches of the yarrow plant can be used for fortune telling. This method of divination might seem strange upon first glance, but is in truth simple and effective. It truly allows one to focus on the query at hand and gain answer to both accurate and satisfying.
A wall of spell enhancements, or trophies. Arrow, broken in half. No doubt to bring bad luck to the archer. Branch of a grapevine. Could be to ensure a good harvest, or a bad one. Doll looks like an accessory for casting curses. Silk kerchief, monogrammed DF. Could use it to break the curse if it's Daphne's.
None but feral cats stray in here most oft, yet it seems I've guessed from afar at that. What do you seek in my home?
Already found it.
You do not aim to lift the curse from the tree, girl.
What if I do?
Then you had best know you waste your time. The old tales? Did your Nan not tell them to you? Even I, the witch of Lynx Crag, would be hard-pressed to overcome the power of love and longing.
The Lady's Knight. You ever make it here?
Sir Gareth. Yes. He came to sway me, but had a quick change of heart. To be precise, it came after the first night we spent together. He stayed a fair while. Then his conscience got the better of him, and he resolved to return to his beloved.
Might have resolved to, but never made it.
Tragic fate befell him along the way.
You have anything to do with this turn of fate?
Of course. Was I to let another woman have a man who belonged to me? I couldn't abide it.
What if I asked you nicely to lift the curse, please?
Gareth met the fate he deserved. And what happened to his wench was not my fault.
All right, so you didn't cast the curse, but could you help lift it?
I probably could. But why ever would I?
I'll humble myself, prostrate myself before you like the Gareth of the tale did. I beseech you to help me. Lift the curse that imprisoned Daphne in the tree.
When I saw you enter my heart, I thought, now there is a fellow who shall bend his neck for no one. Stand there. None, not even I can restore to the lass the years she has lost, can erase the suffering she has endured. We cannot bring her back to life, but I shall tell you how you might let her depart in peace. Yet my aid shall have its price. A lock of your hair.
How can I know you won't use it to cast a spell on me?
I require this. I must, for with it I will cast a spell to conceal me from you for all time, and will use it for nothing else. You will nag me never again. And you've nothing to fear, I assure you. I always keep my word.
I'll trust you against my better judgment. Lock of my hair's yours.
Splendid.
What do I need to do?
You must convince the maiden her beloved yearned to return, but perished in the attempt. Take her silk kerchief and a fragment of Gareth's remains. His bones lie bleaching in the cave beneath this rock. Fire must consume the kerchief and remains. And remember, your heart, your intentions must be pure. Clear?
Yeah. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. And adieu. Once you walk out that door, never shall we meet again.
plate armor and some bones. Gareth's remains? These them. Wonder why the armor came apart. Magic? Or he'd just fall from a height? Gotta get back to the tree. Lift the curse. Move it!
So? You met the witch. You must have. What did you learn?
That witch? She's not near as bad as folks say. Made me bow and scrape, sure. But I know some sorceresses witchier than her.
Joyous, bleeding news, but what about Daphne?
I can lift the curse, free her, by performing a ritual, making a sacrifice of her kerchief and Gareth's remains. But we gotta start at the right time. When the hour comes, I'll light 4 fires for the 4 winds, then begin the ritual.
Fires? Then I shall be of use to you after all. Seems you need wood. Much of it.
Chop as much as you can. I'll see to the rest.
I've chopped and stacked the wood. What now?
My turn. Gotta light fires and talk to the woman enchanted in the tree. No idea how this'll turn out, so just in case, stand at a distance. And if you see me draw my sword, run. Last to the world's four winds. From the south, not a word. From the east, no cry is heard. From the north, silence sighs. From the west, peer hollow eyes. Cease your vigil. Dead he lies. Hear me, you who hide beneath this bark. The day of your freedom has come. Behold a kerchief, proof of your love for another. Behold, a bone of he to whom you offered your love.
Gareth, my Gareth, he shall never return.
No, he won't.
Is his love for me gone? Did he stay true?
Gareth broke his vow, failed to stay faithful.
Man is built of mud and filth, milady, and is like to blunder, we all are.
How cruel is the world to render conferring one's love so hard.
But what would the world be without love?
The time comes that I depart. I've waited too long. I've suffered too much. And now I wish to go.
Farewell, milady.
I thank you, stranger. And you, my knight. I thank you for speaking to me. For standing vigil at my feet.
I did not think it would end this way. I hoped we could revive her. But I guess it was not to be.
We did all we could.
You did well. Here, your pay. And the book is yours as well.
Thanks. Take care of yourself.
So long, Wicha. I must think. Put this straight in my head.
Hey Faster.
Could I ever use a nap? From buds to bottles, a marvelous process. I've sweat dripping down my bum furrow.
Hobnailed boots, multiple sets of prints. Ducal guard, clearly. Let's see where they went. Notice anything along the shoreline?
Perhaps the body lay on the bank.
Anything taken by the current ends up in these shallows.
Yes, the stench is fierce.
Got guests. Careful. Show me what you got. Drawn here by the smell of blood. Let's keep looking.
Though it was, though it was just a pile of rotten meat, till it started to move. Devoid from brûler. Scarvers are Rotfiend's large cousins. The bodies of these hideous, vaguely humanoid creatures are covered with rotten scraps of flesh, under which lurk even more rotten muscles stretched round a strong, flexible skeleton. Scarvers, which feed on old, rotting corpses, prefer to make their hunting grounds in abandoned torture sites, forgotten graveyards, and old battlefields. They are very aggressive, and though they feed on corpses, if they come across a living person, they are likely to attack. Thus, when wandering near any of the abomination places, one must be especially cautious. Scarvers usually feed underground, but sometimes, when they catch the scent of a human, they crawl out to the surface in a matter of seconds and attack their potential prey. While fighting them, one cannot afford to forget about their special bony spines, razor-sharp protuberances sticking out from their skeletons. When a scarver is near death, the gases and enzymes gathered within its body cause it to explode, slinging these spines out at a great speed, turning them into one less deadly weapon in their arsenal. To protect oneself against damage from the spines, one should make prodigious use of the quensign. I have to kill this. Anyway.
Junk that came down the river.
We must keep searching.
Blood. Guardsmen pulled these nets out of the water, then cut the mutilated body free. Gonna dive in, make sure they didn't miss anything. Look at the rut. Guardsmen left this site by boat, recently, probably to transport the body somewhere. Only blood-soaked scraps left of the victim's clothing. Good quality cloth.
A wealthy victim, correct?
Looks it. Dragged some nets onto the bank, then cut them to untangle them. Lot of blood, so the corpse must have been cut up. Quartered, maybe.
It's likely they loaded the body parts onto a boat and sailed off.
Silk kerchief, monogrammed DLC. A noble's accessory, clearly. Be nice to know where they took the corpse.
What now?
This isn't the site of the murder. We know that. Current brought the body here. Corpse got caught in the nets. Guardsmen pulled it out, put it in a boat and took it somewhere. Need to find out where. I'd like to look at the corpse before it starts to decompose.
The inn. Its patrons must have seen the guardsmen, which direction they took. We should ask there.
Seems we've got ourselves an audience.
You think this surprising? The locals will tell the children of children they do not have yet, of the day a quartered corpse was pulled from the river.
One thing. Found a handkerchief in the water. Monogrammed DLC. Mean anything to you?
Delacroix? It cannot be. Was it he the beast slew?
Seems so. Knew him well?
Long past. We were close friends once, but our paths diverged. He was a man of extremes, standing by his companions, no matter the odds. Fighting his foes to the bitter end.
Foes? You have a lot of them?
He did, but I do not see what that has to do with the beast. Ah, Geralt, you've struck a raw nerve. Memories of a time long past, to which I'd rather not return now.
I understand. We can talk later. Let's go to the tavern.
I shall have to leave you soon. Return to court.
Barely got back to Toussaint.
A knight in the service of Her Illustrious Highness knows no rest. In fact, I'd feared I would return too late to fulfill my duty. Yet it seems I've arrived in the nick of time. The gods protect Her Illustrious Grace. Once you have finished examining the corpse, be sure to report to Anarietta.
Anarietta?
Her Grace, the Duchess. I forget myself at times. We address each other by our first names in private. Never in Pomrick's presence, however. He finds such familiarity offensive.
Patrolling on an empty stomach. Oh.
A watering hole for traders, smugglers, boatmen. But you will find no better crayfish chowder in all Toussaint.
As thirsty as I am.
Wicha.
With no lads brave enough.
Of course we have.
But bravery's not enough against the beast.
And
you believe ours. That calls for a Wicha. They say a great deal about
By my troth, could that be the musty scent of fresh pate?
Naught else, Sir de Peyrac-Peyran. I see time has not dulled your senses.
We would be honored if you would join us. Your companion as well.
But why do I not detect even a whiff of crayfish chowder?
No soup today, on account of there being no crayfish. I reckon you've not heard, but all I caught was a corpse. I awoke at the crack of dawn, as I do each day, but when I looked up, I beheld a blood-red sky.
This corpse is precisely why we're here. For the man whom you've invited to join you at the table was summoned from a far-off land by her gracious magnificence. He is tasked with tracking and killing the beast.
We invited two men to join us, yet since Sir de Peyrac-Peyran in temperament is more akin to hare than hound, I surmise the other is the hunter. With whom do we have the pleasure?
Like Milton said, I've come from the north at the Duchess's behest to deal with the beast.
Yes, but who are you? A knight? A mercenary? A soldier?
Geralt is a witcher, a master of his trade. He has questions for you about the beast's most recent victim.
I was the one to find the corpse. The sun had just risen when I awoke, sat straight up in my bed, looked out the window, and beheld a sky red as blood.
Ask Geralt, please, or we shall be here till winter.
Must have been early in the morning. Went to check your nets and then...
I stepped out of my hut and saw...
By my troth, to the point, man. You found a body ensnared in your crayfish nets. We know this already. What happened then? Did you see anyone nearby? Did you spy anything noteworthy? Anything at all?
Not a soul around, just me. As for noteworthy... well...
What did you see? But be warned, if I hear the sky was red again...
I saw a head bobbing, eyes bulging, the tongue blue and popped out. Next to it, a hand rocking upon the water.
Get a good look at the body parts?
They gave me such a fright. I bolted to town, fast as my legs would take me, then returned with guardsmen who told me to keep out of their way. They had a hard haul. The parts were so tangled up in my nets, they were forced to cut them.
Need to examine the body. Know where they took it?
They ferried it across, then loaded it on a cart and hauled it to a cellar at Corvo Bianco to keep it cool, see?
What? Why, Corvo Bianco is Baron Rossel's estate. When he learns they've turned his cellar into a morgue, he'll set his hounds on them.
While you were gallivanting about the north, his vineyard was auctioned off.
Who was that? Woman who just left. Didn't see her before. Didn't notice her walk in either.
Doubtless Linnis, the innkeep's daughter. But hold, Geralt, because this is an outrage. Rossel's vineyard was auctioned off? Inconceivable.
It is no secret the Baron had gambling debts up to his ears. It finally came time to collect. His creditors auctioned off his property. The Ducal Chancellery bought it, in fact. Rossel now bunks with his brother in Vicofaro.
I told Rossel he'd get his comeuppance. How long can one throw on past heroics? His creditors must finally have defined that his promises meant nothing.
Such are the times. Today's knights are pale shadows of the heroes of yore.
It's true what they say. God sent the beast to punish us for straying from the old paths.
So folk think the beast's divine punishment.
Knights have turned their backs on the old customs. Where they were defenders of the duchy, they're now defenders of their own tushes.
Why, you insolent...
Let him talk.
The Duchess trades in titles, grants honors to ill-doers. We've strayed from the path of virtue, lost the gods' favor, so the gods sent retribution.
Don't listen to that nonsense, Geralt. It's rehashed street preacher codswallop.
Yes, the rebel-rousers have been sprouting up like weeds lately, each offering the same bill of goods.
They say anything else about the beast? Besides it being a messenger of the gods?
The Toussaintois are no fools. They see clearly the beast kills on days honoring patron saints.
Picky monster. Thanks for the hospitality. Time I examined the corpse.
Corvo Bianco lies a short way from here, near the tourney grounds. Just follow the road and you'll arrive.
Not coming with? Oh yeah, duty of some sort calls.
Some sort? Her Grace bestowed a great honor on me, even before we departed for Velen. I'm to play the hare during this year's game in the palace gardens. When you see me in my costume, you will wet yourself laughing.
A little tempted to ask a few questions, but it sounds like a long, complicated story. One involving lengthy digressions into local history and tradition. So, see you later, Milton, and good luck.
I shall be off once I finish my pate.
that chowder.
I shall be off once I finish my pate.
Well, compost pate, I understand.
Greetings. Good day.
Well.
Ow!
Appearances deceive, Wicha. Beware.